empty nest just smacked me right in the face. Can you share your story
Yes.
and how
Yeah.
that affected you?
I have one daughter, um, and I had her late in life. I was 36. She's 22. She just graduated from college. And maybe especially with an only child, but I think all of motherhood, your entire world revolves around your child, and you don't recognize until later how much of your identity is wrapped up in them. Their activities, their achievements, their physical health, their emotional health, what they're eating for dinner every day for their entire lives. Um, and their dreams. And I just was hit very, very, very hard in the empty nest. And I think what's really fascinating is that women, I mean, it's no surprise that women struggle with this. You know, mothers and others, but especially mothers. I mean, this idea of like having your entire identity wrapped up in someone else. You don't know where you end and they begin. And most of the women who came up to me to talk to me at these different events were really wrecked by the empty nest. My own daughter just graduated from college to actually about 4 weeks ago. And I was so surprised. I had already gotten over the empty nest, right? You do the college drop off, the dorm and the headboard and the nonsense and you come home. There was a piece in the last show from 2023 where the mother, she was a poet from Columbia, professor. She said, I just had to make it back to my apartment. And then I saw the shoes by the front door. And then I went into the freezer to get a snack. And I went in the back and past the bit of honey from, prior Halloweens was a frozen plastic bag of breast milk that had been there for 18 years.
Wow.
And, um, so came home to the empty house and it was very, very difficult. But what surprised me, because here I have created an entire new life for myself, produced a show, running events, building this community, a very rich, vibrant life I'm grateful for. And let me tell you something, the college graduation, I was crying for about a week. I was so surprised that that brought me to my knees after I was already kind of reborn. But no, it's like every little fissure and
Yeah.
rupture
Mhm.
gets you again, and you have to reconsider who you are unbound from all of these other roles that you've held.
Yeah.
It's
It
fascinating
is.
psychologically, and God, maybe I'm a
It
therapist,
is.
I
but
think you're in good company. I think
Oh, you
for
are.
most
Yeah.
women, it's your heart living outside your body. So everything they go through, you feel. And
Hmm.
I think that's a very natural. Bridget and I both have children that have been out of college for some time now.
Hmm.
And it's they come back.
Well, they come back. Mine haven't. They came back during
I have two
COVID.
daughters, so maybe
No, mine don't live near me at all. But I remember my daughter when she graduates and then she's heading off to that first job. And it was
yeah.
like I didn't, you prepared before college. Like you said, she had internships. She wasn't back for the summer. And then she graduates, and it's like 2 weeks, I've got to go to this other state and this other job. And here we are. And it was like, I have to go to work today. So goodbye. And I'm thinking, when am I going to see you again? And
Mhm.
that's the tough part about it is
well, I
always trying
think
to figure
part,
out when to see
yeah,
again.
I think there's a part too that you spend so much of their lives experiencing everything through their eyes and having experiences with them. And then as they get older, they're having experiences without you. And that's a hard thing for, at least for me. I was like, when they would tell me about college experiences or now that their jobs or now my one is married, it's like they're having all these experiences that you're no longer intimately connected with. And I
Mhm.
think that's hard for a lot of moms.
I mean, I think that's the point, but that's the wreck of
Hmm.
the whole thing.
Mhm.
And you think about it, I mean, where do we go for this information, right? We we learn how to have a reproductive aspect of our lives. In seventh grade, we watched these films. We used to watch them on the little like thing, red.
Yes.
And and then you learn, what to expect when you're expecting. Everybody gets that book and you go to the classes. And now, thankfully, thanks to, Dr. Mary Claire and Tamsin and you guys and a lot of, people out there who have created this community around midlife, we're learning how to, as the title of the book, how to menopause, right? But where do we learn how to unmother? Where do we learn how to, yeah, how to
Mhm.
stop mothering?
Yeah.
I don't know, other than the conversations with our friends and the conversations that we're having. It's one of the largest ruptures of life, I think. I mean, look, every if you watch the midlife monologues piece this year, I performed my essay Lost Under the Dome. And people can watch that on my website, kerridevine.com. And it was when I was in school for my MFA, and my daughter was doing one of those stupid enrichment things at, MIT, where you thought you had to do this and pay for this nonsense for your kid to get into a good college. And I, had the disease like every other type A crazy person, especially from New York. And so there were no dorms, so I had to go take her, and we stayed in a hotel. And the whole time I was, trying to find the library, and the essay was Lost Under the Dome. And I mean, just this idea of like letting them go. I don't know. I mean, it's
It's yeah, you're so right. It's an untouched territory, or
untouched.
yeah, and it is so difficult to watch them make a mistake that you want to jump in and correct or shield or whatever, be this guardian angel. And
Mhm.
it's like, I know I can't do that. I cannot be there and do that for them. It is really hard. I love how you called it a rupture. And I feel like it's a rupture.
And you
Mhm.
were very emotional when you were doing the
I
piece.
was, yeah.
You could tell something was hitting you very very
I,
deep when you were saying it.
yeah.
Mhm.
I
So,
was feeling the graduation looming, I think. And I was so surprised because I didn't really rehearse that. And then I found myself so emotional where I couldn't get through it. So I almost couldn't watch the show because if someone else set me off, I would have been hysterical the whole time I performed that.